everyone. Today we are talking about the differences between a prime cost sum, a provisional sum, a budgetary allowance, and a contingency. What all these items have in common is that they all cater for undefined items, right? Usually at tender stage where you are compiling the BOQ, the drawings of what you are trying to build are not fully completed for you to be able to detail out every single item. So let's take, for example, we are building a hospital, right? For prime cost sums, we know that the architect wants to put tiles into the building, but they haven't chosen the exact tile that they want to put in yet, but they know the budget, right? So what we'll then do is we put in a prime cost sum for that item. So we will say there's a tile that is going to cost 350 rand per square meter. And when it's in the BOQ and the contractor prices for that item, they know that the tile that they're going to use is 350 rand per square meter. And they must then add the cost of the grout, the adhesives, the labor, transport, etc., including their profit and markup, right? Which then comes to your selling rate. So you typically would find an item that says cost 350 rand per square meter, including grouting, adhesives, labor, installation, all of that stuff, right? And then they will have the full area. So it will say there's 1,000 square meters and you would have to put in the rate. The common mistake that I see when contractors price this item is pricing at a cost lower than the prime cost sum. That cannot be, because they have already told you that your tile is 350 rand per square meter. So you can't go and price that item at 350 rand per square meter or at 250, because it means you have not allowed for all the other items. You have not allowed for your labor, for your profit, for the grouting, for the adhesives, etc. So the prime cost sum is essentially, it caters for a material that is known. The exact type is not known, but the cost of that item or the budget for that item is known, and that is then given to you as a prime cost sum. Then we go to provisional sums. Provisional sums are, let's say that your hospital must have landscaping. You want to have trees and flowers and all that beautiful stuff, right? But at tender stage, it is not yet defined that this is the exact type of tree that I'm going to have, or this is the exact kind of flower, or this is where I'm going to place all of this for the quantity surveyor to be able to determine the exact number of trees or plants that they're going to use. So they will say there is a budget of 500,000 for landscaping. Then what the contractor is then required to do is to add profit and attendance on that item. All right, that is the budget placed by the quantity surveyor. It does not necessarily mean that once they appoint the landscaping contractor that they are going to appoint them for exactly 500,000. It is a budget that they have put in there for that specific item, right? So the contractor in this case is only required to price in the profit and attendance. Everything else would be taken care of at a later stage. They must just include that amount into the final contract value, right? So provisional sums are usually where the people that are going to be doing that specific work are either going to be selected or nominated subcontractors. And then now we can go to budgetary allowances. Budgetary allowances are almost similar to provisional sums. The difference is that it is not work that is going to be done by a selected or nominated subcontractor. That work is going to be done by the main contractor, right? The quantity surveyor puts in that for a budget because they know that there is items that they have not catered for in the bill of quantities, right? But they know the work is going to be done, and it is going to be done by the main contractor, and they may have the rates existing already in the BOQ, so it could also cater for measures, right? What the contractor then does when they're pricing is that they only include that amount in the final BOQ. They do not add any profit or attendance to it. Those details will come out in the main BOQ at a later stage, right? And then contingencies. That is money that is for the client. Any building project, or any project for that matter, will have unforeseen costs. You cannot guarantee 100% that you are going to be exactly according to budget. So what you do then is the client puts in their contingency amount, and then that is the amount that they can use at a later stage if they want to issue out variation orders. They do not have to use the money. They do not have to use all of it. It is entirely up to the client as the project progresses, when they see what is coming in as an unforeseen cost, and they get to decide whether they're going to use the contingency for it or not. I hope that then gives you a better explanation of the differences between the prime cost, the provisional sum, the budgetary allowance, and the contingencies. Thank you.